Hello, guys. A little bit late on the Football Manager news this week, but it's because I've been unwell. So we're coming to it late, but it's given me a little bit of time to reflect on some of the things I've seen out there. Quite a lot of information out there. I've seen people getting worked up over certain things. I've not actually had a look at the news yet, so we're going to have a look at that. I don't think that's what people are getting worked up at. There was a whole load of other stuff around Tokyo Game Show and potential rumours and things that might or might not be in the game. So let's have a quick chat. So let's start with the news from this week, which I think was Transfer Room, which I've not seen yet. The FM show guys obviously have already reacted to this. I wasn't on the show because I've been unwell. Powered by Transfer Room, FM26's recruitment revamp. Building your squad in the transfer market is the heart of every Foot Manager career. I don't think there's a video to go with this one, I think, from what I've heard. So we've got the overhauled UI. So we've got a new recruitment home screen. So what's on here? The database. We've got our tabs along the top. So database is there. Transfer activity. So this is saying what's going on. That's kind of useful. The number of contracted players, 90 contracted players. That seems like a lot. I don't know how you handle that, how you manage that. Recruitment objectives down the bottom here. Board 2, undecided. Sign high reputation. So these are transfer specific ones. Oh, that little thing on the clauses there, available to sell, is pretty cool. Shortlist, transfer room out, 53 opportunities. Transfer room in, 0. What are these? Okay, right. These look unusual. So the squad plan is there. I love the squad plan. A lot of people don't like the squad plan, but I think it's kind of useful. Staff database and budgets. Yeah. Okay, I think these are going to be the new things, these two here. So let's have a look. Staying on top of player contracts isn't always an easy task, but there's a visual queue. So is that telling me when they're expiring? Okay, yeah. So 0 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months. So it's like a warning. These ones kind of useful. Okay. The shows the breakdown of the contract lengths. Okay, fine. Says reason, advice. Okay. You can just get the advice straight away. That's kind of useful. It's nothing new, but it's useful. New transfer tools powered by Transfer Room. FM26 two biggest recruitment additions powered by our partners at Transfer Room can be found in the overview screen. Transfer Room is football's online transfer marketplace, a digital. I think I saw an Athletic article on this kind of thing. So where clubs are able to simply and directly communicate their recruitment needs and desires. So that instead of being like, I mean, I don't know how it's going to work here, but instead of being like ringing up clubs, faxing clubs about interest in players, clubs might list players on a literal, I don't know, like a Zoopla for footballers, and vice versa. They say what they're looking for, and people might come to them with players that they want. So let's see. You can give the option to offer your players for sale via transfer. That's what's already there in 24, I think, right? That's the thing that they've been doing. That's still there, but their integration is leveled up in 26 with the addition of 2 new features. Requirements and pitch opportunities. Let's first focus on the recruitments. When creating an advert, you specify what position you're looking for and the sort of player roles you're interested in for both in and out of possession. You can also set an expected player time, from a star player right through to someone who's coming up in to provide squad depth. So, what positions are you looking for? Okay, so you select, you say what you're looking for. So you submit these requirements, then what happens? It's like an advert. So your ad will be circulated to every club. It's a bit like when you're doing like a staff one. And then offers are gonna come in for players. Okay, it's like a reverse scouting in a way. Ooh, that could be interesting. Bringing new players in means letting some go. I mean, you might get some bargains this way as well. These are direct counterpart of requirements, allowing you to see what other clubs in the game are looking for. So you can go into the requirements and offer players out. So you're going to see other teams' adverts. So if they'd be like, oh, we want a defensive midfielder, and you're Arsenal, you're like, hey, here's Sambi Lokonga. I don't know if he's still there. I assume he's moved by now, but I think he is still there. But I don't know if he's actually their player. You still receive bids, independent. Okay, so all the regular transfers are still there. It's just a different way, allowing you to get more of what you want while having to be less hands-on. Okay. The ability to use new in and out of possession functionality in your recruitment is limited transfer room. In and out of possession roles. Okay, so you're searching for the roles for in and out of possession. There's more under the hood. These improvements changes to how clubs sign young players to satisfy club visions. Well, I wonder what that'll be. So which kind of players they're signing for their club visions. Further tweaks to AI squad building. A lot of people have been asking for that. FFP having more of an impact on AI recruitment. Okay, so they're going to be more wary of FFP. New transfer clauses for individual player awards. Okay. Better logic surrounding preferred positions in loans. All right. More loans with future fees and buyback clauses. I wonder if this better logic one helps when it's, if you're playing someone as a poacher and it wants to play in the manager comes in and says, hey, you're not playing them as a advanced forward, and you're like, well, it's close enough. Or maybe you should be playing them as that. More loans with future fees and buyback clauses, improvements to and why AO clause recall players. Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, hopefully it doesn't mean. Hopefully I can still loan everyone in when I'm lower leagues. Although if they've taken that away, that's going to make the lower leagues very more challenging, which I think is a good thing. These are the new ones. They're like Goal, World Football of the Year, World Golden Ball. So if you win one of them, you get an additional fee. So I guess those are the new ones. I don't know if Nathan Ake will get any of them, but interesting to see them there. That's it. That's the new transfers features. I don't think there was anything else, but I'll have a quick check. Okay, so there is a short video. Let's have a quick look at the short video. That same music. Right. Fully integrated recruitment hub. Okay, that's the screen we saw. Requirement. Okay, these are requirements for pitch opportunities. Do we get to see this? New contract, feedback. Okay, we saw that. It's just zooming in on the various screens, right? Okay, yeah. I don't think we're going to get anything new here. The squad planet. Oh, is there anything new? Oh, it's taken me. I didn't realize clicking on that would actually take me into the blog. And smarter scouting. Oh, that's good. I like that. Oh, well, oh wait, no, that wasn't real. Okay, this is all fake. All right, so yeah, let's get on to some of the other bits that have been going around. So, well, firstly, the console. So Apple Arcade is coming. The console version's gone up for pre-order. So there is those small bits of news for those of you who are interested in those things. Which I think that I wonder how close the console version and the touch version are going to be to the PC version this year. It looks like they're building it on the same engine. So that'll be interesting to see. Now, the other thing is, obviously, they've been at Tokyo Game Show. And while they've been at Tokyo Game Show, it looks like Miles has done both a load of interviews with Japanese, Korean, East Asian press. But also, I'm trying to work out if there has been a hands-on demo. So this came from this website, ungeek.ph. Now, it has now disappeared. I wish I'd made this video earlier in the week, because it was on there. It was a hands-on demo with the game. There is a little bit of it here. Now, I will say, don't believe everything you read on the internet. There's a lot of rumors. I mean, I've seen all the big sites are chucking out rumors. Some of the streamers and content creators are chucking out rumors. They can speculate, which is fine. I'm speculating. I think, well, I'll tell you a speculation I have later in this that I think might happen. But some of these are some of these rumors, I mean, some of them are contradictory, or some of them are going to be false. I don't know. We've seen in the past, last year, there was some about things or 2 years ago, there was some about things that were going to be added to the game. They never happened. I've seen the number of times we've seen the release date or the beta one this week is the same as well. So, here we go. I'm just going to zoom in a bit on this. So I have just the top bit. So we managed to try Football Manager 26 game demo recently during the first week of Tokyo Game Show. Now, I wonder if this has been taken down because they weren't supposed to publish it. Now, the thing that seems strange to me is, and this is why I say I don't believe everything you say on the internet, why would the first hands-on preview of Football Manager written in the press be a Filipino, not that well-known gaming website? I don't know what the I mean, it's not that big, is it? Is it? I don't know. I believe it's Filipino. It's .ph, which I believe is the Philippines. Yeah, Philippines. So why would that be the first place to provide a Football Manager hands-on? And not just that, in English as well. And not just that, it reads incredibly like AI. I think this is AI written. If I were to put it succinctly, the interface readily spoke to me as a platform for professional managers, coaches. That sounds like, at a minimum, someone whose English isn't at the top. And I'll give you a bit of insight into I deal a lot with this in my real job, non-native speakers who then go and put their work through AI and translation services, and they come out with these phrases that a typical English speaker wouldn't use. And especially the AI ones, it becomes very easy to spot. It holds itself as a very professional platform. Like, that isn't a sentence you would say about Football Manager. At the beginning of the demo, the game immediately guides you to character creation and customization, which is as detailed as its new main gameplay interface. Like, I don't know what it's trying to say. So what I'm getting at here is, and this is the problem. This is the problem I have in my real job. We don't know where. I mean, this has almost certainly got some AI influence in it. Like, the reading of this is, I'm not going to read the whole thing. The reading of it definitely feels like it's got AI influence in it. It got sent to me by a few people. You see, I downvoted it. It got sent to me by a few people, and I immediately said, that's AI written. Like, just don't believe everything you read on the internet. Now, there is another one, which, this 4Gamer, which is Japanese publication. I think they also had the idea that they played a demo here. I've translated this one from Japanese. Now, again, that might be something that would have a problem. And this time, this would be on me. Like, if there's a mistranslation here or something that doesn't come through correctly. So I think there might have been a playable demo. I don't know if they were supposed to post gameplay previews or if they were supposed to go out in English. The fact that the Ungeek one has like disappeared a few days later, like it got taken down. It's got a 404 there now. Either because it was AI or because it just wasn't right. So it's very strange. The thing was very glowing as well. It was very odd. Like, I don't know. It's I'm excited about the new game, but is it going to be like, it's not going to be perfect, is it? Like, this is the first. They're going to have things, especially with the mess of 25, like, in the fact they've had to go back to things. And I'm thinking, surely that's like, and I'm already seeing things that I know are going to annoy me in like the previews and stuff. This is going to come across a lot more negative than maybe my other previews. But it's like, there were small things in those other previews. Overall, I'm very excited. Like, the match engine looks great, but like, still things like player faces could be improved. Like the bookmarks thing up in the corner. Like, I want more than 6 bookmarks. Like, I want more. Like, or like the menus. I want to move my own menus, and I can't. From what it looks like, I can't do that. I don't know. It looks like it's fixed to like a set. So there are things that are, actually there's some other ones that we're going to come to in a little minute. That I don't think it's going to be like, I think it's going to be a good game, but I don't think, is this going to be the best Football Manager? I think 24 maybe the better game overall. I don't know. It's going to depend how it controls. We don't know until we try it. And I think they don't know until they get it into the hands of lots of people. So we'll see. So yeah, we got this. This one's, let's talk about the J League a little bit. So this was the play report, right? I mean, it doesn't translate that well, but, and the other problem is a lot of these are written by people who don't necessarily play Football Manager a lot. Like, there are a lot of them are gamers, but they're not necessarily, they're sort of living off, like, a lot of this stuff is the convenience of delegation, right? Like, this is all stuff that's normal in Football Manager. These aren't things that I would be picking on to write about. Which each successive installment in the series' convenient features have been added, allowing players to freely choose which aspects of club management they want. Like, why is delegation like I mean, this almost makes me think like they did play a demo, and they only got to play like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and they got as far as delegating, because that is about as far as you would get in a Football Manager save. So that's all they can write about. But it's curious. But there were also some interviews. So this was one of them. And they were talking about some of the changes and Unity. I think these are genuine interviews. I don't think this is made up. I mean, there's the photograph for a start, Miles with Sonic. But yeah, it's creating dedicated teams to easier to play with a controller, which would be good for the console players. And there's a little bit about the Japanese play. There is a Korean article as well, which we can look at in a second. They talk about, the FMpedia, which is the thing for new players, which is like a Wikipedia. I don't know about that. I think it's good. I think it should be there. But like, if that's the thing that they're relying on for new players, if I go play I'll give you an example. Like, I played Foot Manager a lot, but a different game. Let's say Crusader Kings or Europa Universalis. Sometimes I don't want to be presented with a wall wall of text to understand something, because that's just as confusing, or that's just as like inaccessible. I don't want to like remember the days when your PC games used to come with big fat manuals. Like some of them were giant, like full on novels of rules and mechanics and all sorts. And then on top of that you'd get the strategy guide. I don't want to have to like. I mean, it should be there, but I think there should be like an easier. I hope there is a better tutorial to take you through. Actually, the console one last year wasn't too bad, so it sort of needs something like that. Yeah, I mean, this is something he's talked about, like the number of players playing and how long they play for, and I think there was a thing going around of like most of them play. I saw one of the interviews. Most of them play less than 5 hours, and then they drop off. But those who do play longer than 5 hours play for significant numbers of times, and it gives them actually a really long play time overall. So this is like. Okay, I mean, and that you see Football Manager, you expect that. I hope, like, looking at the graphics of this year, that changes a little bit. It's weird that like so much of this interview is on FMpedia of all the features, and it's like the same with all these interviews. I mean, it talks about women's football, how they bring women's football in, goalkeeper is short taking the shot, player taking a shot and need to tend to aim higher. I mean, that's interesting. And the contracts are different. So there are changes to the way in which women's works. The tactics system has been significantly enhanced. Maybe this was done before the tactics thing was. Maybe like they've been embargoed on releasing these. I don't know, when was Tokyo Game Show? 2 weeks ago? 1 week ago. I think or maybe it was like the same day. Maybe that's why they have to set formations. Oh wait, here we go. So yeah. I mean, we know about in and out possession now. So yeah, this was one of the things. So they were moving to this WhatsApp system, but it just didn't work, and they moved back to emails. Which, you know, I kind of liked the idea of the WhatsApp system, but yeah, I can see how it might have got annoying. To compensate, it wasn't displayed in the demo version. I demoed it, so they have played a demo here, according to this. We made it so information appears during loading. All right, so yeah. So some things that they played it to. So they're still working on the game even up until Tokyo Game Show. Makes you wonder if the things we're seeing in these videos like how long ago those videos were recorded. It is interesting. Like this kind of question is interesting because it sort of highlights the different approach that Japanese players have to the game. And it's about, you know, and Miles like correctly says, oh, okay, it's, you know, think of it like an RPG. So this is another one from gamer.ne. I think FM Console sent me one of these. I don't remember, but this was about, so this actually has some information on those tutorials in the game, which is interesting. The subscription stuff so is interesting. I'm going to have a video coming out on that soon because there has been some, I mean, you might have seen in the news, there's been some changes to the subscription services. And yeah, we probably ought to talk about that. Yeah, this person also says they played a game. It's a weird question though. I don't know if that's the translation or there's glitches. So there was also this Korean language one in gamedonga.com. Was posted up to Reddit, and here is where one of the big, let's say, controversies of the week came in. It does say they're going to go back to the annual release schedule, but let's have a look. So one of the things he was saying along here, we get past the stuff about Korea, let's say, and they ask about like specific bugs, and it's a strange one. Excessively frequent requests for contract renewal. You know, like what like it's such a specific question, and the Wonder Kids concentrated in certain regions. I mean, that's true, that happens. I think this was the, let's say, the controversial bit. So the national team mode is gone. Aren't you disappointed with the World Cup? Of course, it's a big market, the World Cup, but I thought more important to improve the game's quality. The user response was it wasn't very fun. Now, a lot of people have taken that, and this is again back to what I said at the start. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Do I think international managers could be back in Football Manager? They probably would have showed it by now. Maybe. But my reading of this maybe isn't quite so... like, the national team mode is gone. Like, the question is leading. The question is making the assumption that it's gone. You know, he did mention it earlier on. You know, the national team. However, the user response was not good. Level of completion was judged to be insufficient, so we excluded it for the time being. We plan to spend time to recreate it. So it's like, is that a confirmation? It's not in 26. I don't know. It's like, and the fact that Miles laughs at the end is a little. I don't know. Something here tells me, also based on other stuff like where Miles talked about how the game is going to be more like an update, a games as a, like in the games as a service model and stuff like that. I don't, and very much we've seen that Sports Interactive haven't gone down the microtransaction route. There are like a few in the console version or whatever, but like for the most part, it's engaging with those services, being able to take your save through different versions of the game, particularly if you're on things like Game Pass. And then here's my prediction, because I know, for example, Zealand's done a video, and the guys just spoke about it on the FM show yesterday, and a lot of people are very angry or disappointed that international management isn't in the game. I think a prediction, right? I could be wrong. I think there's going to be international management by the time the World Cup comes around. I think we're going to get an update. I think they're going to give us bigger updates on this game. I think we'll get an update around about January, because I think now they are less tied to the annual release. They will still do an annual release as we saw, but because they're on the subscriptions, actually what's better for them is to have constant new players constantly going into the subscription service, downloading the game, and getting into the game ecosystem through the subscription service, whether that be Game Pass. Oh, it's not in PlayStation Plus yet, but whichever one. So I think we might see an update January, March, whenever, or the summer, with the World Cup mode, or just in national football added back in. I think it's too big enough, especially as they are now working with FIFA, like FIFA. They've made contact with FIFA. The FIFA license is much more up for grabs now that EA Sports, let's say, out of the picture, right? They're no longer on the the FIFA license is actually being used by 4 or 5 games at the minute. There's the FIFA Rivals, and I can't remember what else it's in. So yeah, I think we might see it still in this game cycle, in this game, in FM26. I think it's not going to be there. I think based on the idea of this is like, we might even he might even announce it, or they might even say next 2 weeks, next 3 weeks. When are we, I guess that's the other thing, right? Like the beta, when's the beta coming? Everyone keeps asking when the beta's coming, but I'm always under the impression that Sports Interactive don't know. Like, it's when they get down, and I saw another thing about how many bugs were left, like 40 bugs or whatever, or 80 bugs. They're down to 40 bugs. Like that's when they decide. It's going to decide that afternoon. Like, this is a stable release. We're happy with it. We're going to put it out. Maybe they're not happy with it. I don't know, because I guess they've got to release one this year. So, but I'm sure that there'll be one out, and they've said around about 2 weeks before. So we're looking around 2 weeks time. I think we'll get a World Cup mode. I could be wrong. Like, that's complete speculation on my part. But and I've not seen what anyone else has said. I've seen that some people have been angry. I've seen the sort of general consensus about the responses. So I don't know if anyone else is implying that or suggesting that or what they're basing that on. But I'm hopeful we get a World Cup mode. I think if we don't, it's a missed opportunity. But like, he's right. So few people enjoyed it, and so few people played it. Like, it's not the end of the world if there's not a World Cup mode, if there's not national football, or if you can't play as the national football. I have to assume national football's in there. I have to assume the World Cup will still happen, right? It's just whether you can play it. And I suppose that then makes a bit of a difference, right? Because surely national football is in there. Ooh, now I see. If national football's not in there, it'll feel weird. Like, if there's not international breaks and players getting called up and stuff, and the potential for players to get injured and things. I know. I'm curious what people think. Like, I put this out to a poll actually on YouTube a few weeks ago, on YouTube and on X actually. So on X, do you think international football will be back in FM26? Only 23%. I just realised I asked the same question twice. What did I say? Still gone, back but not at launch. Not until a future FM. My question's dumb, isn't it? Because never mind. I'll blame this on the flu that I didn't have at that time. But a lot of people thought it would be back, but not at launch. So it will be in FM26. The same in the YouTube response. Where was EA go? Look, back but not at launch. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe my brain's not working now, but I'm pretty sure I've just asked the same at the top and the bottom. Never mind. There was another article that come out again, a Zealand one. which was interesting about with the esports insider. I thought it was about like whether Miles. It was very weird, the questioning about like whether Miles would lose his job or not. But again, like, and I've said this on the FM show, it's not the job of any consumer, including including Zealand. I mean, he's the biggest FM content creator, no doubt. But at the end of the day, he's still a consumer. He doesn't work at SI. He knows people who work there, I'm sure. But well, I know he does because I've met him there. But that's not his decision. It's not my decision. Not any consumers. That's like Sega's decision. Ultimately, we don't know. So yeah, that kind of like speculation. I'd always feel like it always sours me. Like at the end of the day, it's just a game. Like it's a game for us. Okay, for Zealand, it is actually part of his job. But like for most of us, it's just a game. Someone doesn't need to lose their job over it. It's not, it's not the Horizon scandal. It's not like, it's a weird one. I mean, maybe he will, but it's not. I really think, and I really can't iterate this enough, is not for us to speculate. I can't imagine. It's like this weird culture we've entered into in the internet, where everyone thinks people should lose their jobs for everything, whereas there's Miles been there 20 years, but maybe a fresh studio head would be a good thing. Maybe not. It's like sometimes better the devil, not implying that Miles is the devil, but it's like, hey, you could have the guy who ruined Unity and ruined EA, the guy who wanted to charge real money for you to reload your guns in Battlefield. I've forgotten his name, but yeah, like that could be the guy in charge of Foot Manager. They could have gone down an Ultimate Team route years ago and raked in the money like every other manager. Like he says, like it would take years for another studio to create a Football Manager rival. It won't happen. It won't happen because there's too much money in the mobile football management games, like the top 11s and the even if Sega has one of their own now. Why would you make a Football Manager rival? Like especially when you need that scouting network. When you can just get a FIFA Pro license, put out semi-management game, semi-ultimate team game, collect the cards. I've seen there's the club game or whatever now as well. People are advertising all the NFT ones as well. Like that's it. You're not going to see another football management game now. If you are, it's going to be a small independent one, and there are a few small independent ones. Kevin Tom's the original guys. Just bought one back out. Burkham's Football Manager is one as well. Like there are some out there, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The database alone. The only way it happens is if Sports Interactive transition, much like probably Microsoft are going to do with Xbox, from the game making to a database supplier. And if they make that, and they are selling their database to clubs and scouting networks and all sorts, if they make that transition, they could sell their data. The company splits in two, let's say, and you have the data arm and you have the game arm, and the data supplies it to the game arm, or the data arm can sell it off if it's split off, and it can sell it to multiple people, and then suddenly you've got that. I mean, that's probably the solution. But even like the engine, the in-game engine, that's like takes years and years of perfection. So I don't think we'll see a Football Manager competitor anytime soon. Yeah, Zealand has good insight into Football Manager and what goes on there, I'm sure, at Sports Interactive. But like again, it just comes down, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth when people. It might just be that the articles misquoted him, right? Like the way it is. I think he literally said someone who's not great at being able to comment on the hierarchy of business. It's a weird way to talk about someone else's job, but there we go. So what did we learn today? Well, hopefully something. I feel like I've been rambling a little bit today, but I think it's because I've had the flu and I've just seen so much stuff fly by this week. I felt like I wanted to talk about it. I wasn't on the FM show yesterday, so yeah, it's a bit of a longer ramble about the state of where we're at with Football Manager. The transfer room stuff looks cool. I'll be interested to give that a go. I don't think that's necessarily game changing. I feel like they didn't do a video for it, so I wonder if like we're dried up for announcements now, which also makes me wonder, does that mean we're beta imminent? You watch, I'll drop this video and the beta will be out before I drop it. It'll make the whole video redundant. I guess we'll know if international management's in the game. I do think they should come out and say what is and isn't the game explicitly, like to the English language audience. Like, I don't want to be translating Korean and Japanese. This is part. This is part of the communicate. Like at this bit, I agree with a lot of people. This is part of the communication problem, in that this stuff shouldn't be coming out from like tiny Japanese and Korean sort and Filipino sources. And whether it was supposed to, I don't know. So, yeah, lots of bits of news. I don't know. Hopefully, I've not been too negative today. I think it's just the flu speaking. I'm looking forward to it. Let's be honest. We all are. So, yeah. Catch you guys next time. I'll chuck some videos there. You can tell I'm defeated today. Go check them out. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.